had a very timely conversation with a parishioner last night. Actually, it was a member of our middle school youth group. And specifically, she came to me saying that another priest had asked her to consider religious life. She came to me asking, well, Father, how do I know if that's what I'm supposed to do? And so I think this is very timely because as we begin to prepare for a very fruitful celebration of the season of Lent coming up here not too long, um, it's a good prayer exercise for us all to go through. And I told her, I said, well, the first prayer is to ask the Lord with a sincere heart, Lord, what are the work and the activity and the relationships that you will bless me with going forward? And I said, the important aspect of that prayer is to go to God with an open heart, to go to God with a sincere heart, to avoid the very natural tendency to say, okay, Lord, well, here's my plan, and I want you to use your goodness and your power to make it all work out. When we do that, God says, okay, well, I'll wait until you are humble enough and sincere enough to receive what I already have in store for you. And then to the corresponding prayer to that is to look back on the day or look back on the week or look back on, the year, as much time as you want to bite off, and think about your life and think about, at what point in my day or my week or my year or my whenever did I feel most confident that God really is who he says he is? And where was I and who was I with and what was I doing when I felt that way? Conversely, we say, well, when did I feel like God was most distant from me? When did I feel least confident that God says he is, or that he is who he says he is? And again, where was I and what was I doing and who was I hanging out with when I felt that way? And I told her, I said, God, when God speaks to you, it is very rarely in a way that we're used to being spoken to. We're usually, when somebody speaks to us, we're used to hearing the specific words that they're saying and understanding the specific words that they're saying. It's much more likely, though, when God speaks to you, he will move your heart. So be very attentive to the movement of your heart and be honest in your assessment of whether you are growing in your confidence, growing in your faith in God, or you're declining in your confidence and faith in God. And be very patient in connecting that either rising or falling confidence in God to specific activities or work or relationships in your life. And then going forward, and this is really where our preparation for the season of Lent comes in, to having honestly asked God for insight into the work and activity and relationships that he's calling you to, and the corresponding increase in confidence in God that doing those things and hanging out with those people always brings. Be ready to say, Lord, okay, I want more of the things, more of the work, more of the activity, more of the relationships that draw me closer to you. And as importantly, Lord, I ask you for the grace and the courage and the wisdom to let everything else go. And it's not as though you need to work on some sort of global reform of your life. Maybe there is one particular aspect of work or activity or relationship in your life that is either moving you closer to God or pushing you away from God. And maybe that's your Lenten exercise, is to focus on that particular aspect of your life and making the time and the energy and the attention available for those things that draw you closer to God. And again, the courage and the wisdom to let go of the things that do not. So I'm praying for all of you that as we prepare for Lent, that you will see the hopeful and brightly lit path that God has placed you on. And remember, God really is who he says he is. You are who he says you are, and live the life that he made you to live.